Yeah.
Yeah.
Fights. Face punching.
Woo-hoo,
UFC Apex. Yes. UFC Vegas 78 kicks off at the top of the hour. The main event, as you can see right there. Vicente Luque looking to get back on track as he takes on the former UFC lightweight champion, Rafael dos Anjos. And then we're just knocking on the door of UFC 292. We just got to take one last stop before we head to Boston. Right down the road for the UFC at the Apex. But thanks for joining us for the People's Pre-Fight Show. I am Mike Heck. We're going to get you ready for this card. And joining me as always, the best damn chair swinger in all of MMA, the undefeated Casey Leydon. Where is he? There he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, buddy? How we doing?
Doing well. Got my morning workout in. Had a smoothie. Now I'm here talking to you,
Nice.
the fans. I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
I will say I am a bit bummed. I mean, I'm glad to be here, but I am missing Josh Barnett's catch wrestling tournament down the street a few miles from me, and I was bummed. I was like, I've been working on my wrestling really hard the last couple weeks, and I wanted to show it off, but can't do it because I need to be here with you talking about UFC Vegas 78. I couldn't keep it up.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I had this thing I really wanted to do, but I can't because I have to watch UFC Vegas 78 today. That's just so bad. Look, I'm not. Look, here's what I'll say, because I know this card is not getting a lot of great attention. There's not a lot of positive vibes heading into this card. And I agree with most of what has been said about it. However, let me just try to tie a nice little positive bow on this. I don't think you're going to feel like you wasted your time when this is all said and done. I think there's going to be some fun fights on this card. There are some competitively matched fights on this card. The main event is somewhat intriguing. Co-main event is somewhat intriguing. Khalil Roundtree might kill a man. Did you see what that man looked like on the scale yesterday? That was a terrifying dude. Are we going to be talking about this card come Wednesday? God, no. But I think if you are spending your Saturday, you're staying in, you're skipping Josh Barnett's catch wrestling tournament, but you're watching these fights, I think at the end, this is you're going to come in with some low expectations, but I think it's going to exceed them. So trying to be positive here. Turtles movie, we had high expectations, high hopes going into that one, and they delivered. So there you go. This will not be that.
I would say, what'd you think of the Ninja Turtles movie?
It was good.
I liked it. Huh?
I liked it a lot. It was really good.
Fun. It was fun. Man, I loved the animation. I was into it. As soon as it started, I was like, yes, let's go. I don't know. I was hyped. I was excited for it. So
it was just well done. The soundtrack was just a banger of a soundtrack. It was great.
It was good. Yeah, good stuff. But now to fist fighting and not all those Ninja Turtles.
Let's go to the questions. You know what to do. Hype them in. We'll pull them up. We'll chat.
All right. Here we go.
Thoughts on Conejos' potential? She is winning tonight. Dana Blanco thinks Montserrat Ruiz is going to win tonight. She's fighting Jacqueline Amorim, who is coming in for the first time in her brief MMA career, coming off of a loss. She's gotten all first-round finishes. She fought Sam Hughes, almost got Sam Hughes out of there in the first round in her UFC debut. And Hughes was able to toughen it out, survive, and earn a unanimous decision win. So Montserrat Ruiz has not fought in a hot minute. Will she get the win tonight? Can she pull off the upset right now? Jacqueline Amorim, a minus 245 favorite.
Oh, wow. That's a big favorite. Let me look. Wait, what was her fights? So I only know her from the Sam Hughes fight. What you know more? You followed her career a bit more, Mike. What do you know about her opponent, Conejos' opponent?
Amorim, she takes you down and taps you very quickly. She's done that to basically everybody she's fought.
Okay.
Almost did it to Sam Hughes, but Sam was able to weather the storm. And that was my big question heading into her debut is Sam isn't like going to fight for a world title, but she is dog tough.
Mm-hmm.
And if that fight got out of the first round, that was the big question. And it's kind of the same question I have here because I do think Jacqueline's going to get this fight to the mat early. I think she's going to have a lot of moments in advantageous positions, very close to finishing the fight. And if Conejos can extend this fight and get it to round 2, I do think Conejos is going to win. So I do think there's a lot of betting value on Montserrat Ruiz here because if this fight goes past 5 minutes, I do agree with what Dana Blanco is saying right here, that I do think Ruiz is going to win a decision, but her jits is so good, man. It's so good. So it's just a matter of like, does Amorim get a first round submission or does she lose a decision? That's what it all comes down to me.
It's an interesting fight. Actually, this is one of the fights I'm looking forward to in the card. And why has Conejo been out for so long? I didn't quite know. Is it injuries? I mean, I assume some sort of injury. But...
I assume so.
Okay, yeah.
I almost it's not that I like forgot about her, but her name continued to come up onto the next one, and I was like, yeah, where the hell has she been? Because we haven't. Her last fight was when she got like done up by Amanda Lemos, right? That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, like 30 seconds. It was kind of, I don't want to say a flash knockout, but she got hit hard at the beginning, and the ref kind of called it. I thought it was a bit of a early. I remember it was a bit of an early stoppage, but I got it, and so it happens. But yeah, then she's been gone for 2 years now. So
yeah,
that's a long time. So
I like her, man. She's just tough. She's tougher than a $2 steak.
Yeah, so
we'll see what she can do. 2 years is a while, man. It's a while, but I think if she can get out of the first round, I think she'll win.
All right.
Is this a must win for McKinney and Daucus? What do you think? Must win for both guys?
I think it's a must win for Daucus. Well, 205. I don't know. If depending how he looks, if Daucus gets smoked, like within I would say within a round, that'll be pretty bad for him. That would be 4 straight losses, I think. But it'd be 4 straight losses. But his first loss at 205. You know what? I take it back. I think the UFC will give him, even if he looks bad tonight, I think they'll give him one more shot at 205. For McKinney, no, I don't think this is a must win for either guy. I take it now that I'm thinking about it. No,
depends on how you depends on how you define it. It depends on how you define it. Like, I do agree with you. If Daucus, I feel like Daucus is just going to get run over against Khalil Roundtree, and it's not disrespect to Daucus. I just kind of feel like anybody who fought Khalil Roundtree today is going to get run over. But who knows? Maybe Daucus tackles him and just wears him out and wins the decision. It's very possible. That is on the table. I feel like this is a must-win for Terrence McKinney just based on where... Because like when he got into the UFC, knocks out Frivola in 7 seconds. That win aged incredibly well. Mm-hmm. Then he fights Fares Ziam, taps him in the first round. That one has actually aged pretty well too. Mm-hmm. Has that insane fight with Drew Dober, gets stopped in the first round, bounces back with a quick win. And now he's been stopped in 2 straight fights by Ishmael Bonfim, who's making his UFC debut, and Nazim Sadikov. I believe that was his second fight. And now he's stepping in against Mike Breeden, who Mike's tough. Mike is powerful. He's been in there with some pretty good guys, but this is 155, and this is not meant to be a disrespectful comment towards Mike Breeden. But Mike Breeden is probably the 70th best lightweight in the world right now. Like, he's probably the bottom 10 of this division in ranking right now. And if this is a tailor-made matchup for Terrence McKinney, if Terrence McKinney takes Mike Breeden down, he should submit him in the first round. But if he loses to Mike Breeden, that is a tough loss. This will be by far the worst loss of his career. So I don't think either of these guys are fighting for titles in the UFC, but just seeing where Terrence was, the hype that was behind him, like even heading into the Bonfim fight to where it kind of is now, if he loses to Mike Breeden, I think a lot of that is just gone. Like all the flavors just it's just gone. You know what I mean?
I kind of think it's gone already. I'm more talking. I guess when I said must win for McKinney to keep an active contract in the UFC. But as far as like me thinking of McKinney as a contender, I just don't want to see it. I think he's gonna be always exciting to watch, and I think he's a good personality, especially on his social medias. Not too. He's not problematic. Rather, I would say he just kind of has good conversations. I think for the most part with fans, and I think that's good for him as far as his career longevity as a professional fighter. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if he loses this fight, I think UFC. I think his next fight will have to be a must win. But I still think he has a little bit of leeway with the UFC. But yeah, if he loses this fight, man, not good. Yeah. Man, I always think when he fought for Vola, was he coming in on short notice?
You
remember?
I believe, yeah. I think he took a like maybe a week or two.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Let me just look real quick and just check.
You remember?
Yeah, Frank Camacho was supposed to fight him. Camacho withdrew, and then McKinney stepped in short notice.
Has that ever ended up well? Because like we've seen this a lot. These short notice fighters come in and they face a kind of veteran, and then they wind up stopping him in like 10 seconds or 15 seconds. I was thinking like Hernandez versus Dariush, sorry. And like it almost is like a curse on them, I feel like, because now they have these just unreasonable expectations. And I feel like McKinney getting that 10-second knockout over a tough fighter like Matt Favola was almost a curse on him, because now we kind of we put too much pressure on him. I feel like, and when maybe he's just an action fighter, but we should never really thought of him as that kind of title contender. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. We'll see. He's. I mean, obviously he's got a great story, and his story has helped a lot of people, and that's great. He's an exciting guy.
Yeah, and that's what I mean when I say like I think he did a good job naturally. He wasn't forced, but just of getting his story out there and I feel like we know him when he's fighting, and I can't say that for a lot of fighters in the UFC. I just don't know who they are. But I feel like for some reason with Terrence McKinney, I have an idea of who he is, and that goes a long way, I think, in this sport as far as keeping your job.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Do. Questions.
What else we got?
Did you see any Bellator? We got some Bellator questions. Did you see any Bellator last night, Mr. Heck?
I saw some. I watched a little bit. Oh boy, that main card was tough, huh?
Sheesh. Yeah. It happens. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
And my teammate lost last night in a heartbreaking loss. I don't know if you watched it. It was Weber Almeida. He was dominating the fight. Not dominating, but he was on his way to a 30-27. And he got stuck in the clinch, got a little lazy, bringing his head out. His head got brought down low, and then ate a knee. And boom, it's like, we were all watching at the gym. And we're like, oh, cool. Weber's 90 seconds away from winning this fight against the number 8 ranked featherweight in Bellator. This is going to be such a good win for him. And then it was just like, no.
Dude, it would have been obviously like the highlight from Brennan was great. Mm-hmm. Had Almeida won that fight, boy, is that a tough loss for the Bellator developmental system. You got Lucas Brennan losing. You would have had what's her face? How do you pronounce her name? Avzargova. She lost.
Oh, she did.
Jalen Bates lost.
I saw Jalen Bates lost. Yeah. So other kind of the ones they brought up. Yeah.
Dalton Rasta lost. Like a lot of their undefeated guys guys and gals they've been bringing up all lost. Lucas Brennan came back barely. And won.
Yeah,
barely won. So that could have been a real tough night.
But you know who I like? The guy that beat Rasta though, Jeffries. I like him. I think Bellator found they got lucky with him. I think he came in a short notice to fight. What's his name? Vanderford, right? Vanderford. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. I think he's a good talent. So at least I think they have a winner with him. All right. Oh, I guess we're talking about Ninja Turtles.
What would Mike Heck consider a bad movie?
What's the last bad movie you watched? Like you're like, oh man, I don't know why I wasted 2 hours watching this.
There's a few. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Just kind of erase them from your memory.
I mean, if I go see a movie, like I feel like it's going to be good. I don't know. What was there? Like Dumb and Dumber was so bad, and I remember like spending money to actually go see that. I hated Anchorman 2. Hated it.
It just wasn't. I heard it just wasn't funny. I heard it just.
It's just like what the, like just do it. Took you to the dance, bro. Like what are we doing here? I mean, if I really like scroll through IMDb and stuff, like I'll find some bad ones. But yeah, yeah.
Did you see Barbie?
No.
Oh, okay. I loved Barbie. It was so good. All right.
Does a win do anything for Cub Swanson? Super Dave, let me just tell you this. A win does nothing for anybody in this card. It's unfortunate. Outside of just getting the second half of your paycheck, in terms of advancing your career in any meaningful way, climbing the ranks, getting a big opportunity, a win does nothing for really anybody here. Cub would, I think win or lose, like we just set Cub up for like one good fight in front of a crowd. Let him have his Lawler moment.
Yeah.
That's where we go from here.
Yeah. I think Cubs maybe 2-3 fights away from retirement. So I think a win's gonna be great for him. I mean, I think a win would be more just to, I think more to prove to himself that, I don't think anyone thinks he has a championship run in him anymore, but he's always gonna be a tough fight for any 45er. And beating Hakeem will be just at 39 years old. Like, dude, you're still a high level featherweight in the world, and that's pretty cool. And I guess that's what we're talking about. Does a win do anything for Cub? I think it's just more for. It's more for. I mean, obviously the paychecks, yeah, but I think it's more just to prove to himself that he can still hang at this level. And I think we're kind of excited to find out. I am, at least. Yeah. I've always just loved watching Cub. I like Cub as a person. I like Cub as a fighter. I've always kind of said that Cub is that it's a group you don't want to be in, but that group of fighters who are like the best fighters who never even fought for a belt. He never fought for a belt in WC. He never fought for a belt in UFC, even though he was kind of like right there the whole time. Just never got that win, but. Like I said, in a parallel in an alternate universe, Cub Swanson could have been a champ, but he was always he was in the same universe as Aldo. He was in the same universe as Frankie Edgar. It's just things happen. He's just always right at the top, but he's just always been a good dude, and it's just great for the sport. And I'm happy Cub's still fighting and making a living, doing what he loves. That's about it.
Yeah, that's well said. Can't add much to that.
And I hope, I hope Cub pulls off a couple more wins to add to his stats. And when he calls it a day, I hope Cub has enough pull with fans in the UFC that he does eventually become a UFC Hall of Famer without ever actually being a champion. So I know he's kind of right on that kind of, where
he's got the fight.
Yeah, obviously he's in for the fight. So maybe who knows if he has one more fight of the year in him? Who knows?
Yeah.
I guess the big thing we're worried about as fans is like at 39, can he take the damage that you need to be able to take to fight at this level? No matter how good you are, you still gotta be just heck tough. And we saw him, the Martinez fight just chopped up his legs. He really couldn't recover from that. And then obviously Giga with that one shot to the body just took him out. But we'll see. All right. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Thoughts on Elon Musk trying to distance himself from the UFC in the hypothetical fight with Mark Zuck, but Zuck saying he wants to partner with one or the UFC. Can I just tell you the funniest thing that came out of all of this is that Don Davis of the PFL was the one that's like Elon, hey, it's your buddy Don. Hope all is well. Yeah, I see you don't want to go to the biggest organization in the world to host this fight. Why don't you come to the PFL? We'll show you how to do it. And I laughed hysterically when I saw that. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you have no leverage here. You have nothing to give them. Zero. None. Nothing to bring to the table here. So if Elon doesn't want to work with the UFC, you think he's going to work with you? I don't think so. But anyways, just another reason why I don't think this fight's going to happen. It was just kind of, all it did was just kind of verify to me, like, this ain't a thing. Like, this isn't going to work, because neither of these guys are going to budge on this. Like, Elon is certainly not going to budge on this. And Zuck doesn't seem like a guy that's going to let the UFC not be a part of this. And I know he mentioned one as well. I don't know. What did you think of it? This just kind of made me feel like, all right, I don't know why I even really bought into this at all, because I don't think this fight's going to happen. And it's just silly that this is what it's going to come down to. You know what I mean? Like, when Elon first tweeted yesterday that UFC's not going to manage this, I was like, ooh, this is wild. And then Zuck's like, nah, bro, it's got to be done with the UFC or one. So I don't know. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I'm more just disappointed in myself for this occupying so much of my brain space. The fact that I put too much thought into this and I've had too much discussion over something so dumb. I don't know. It's just.
What do you think? Okay, here's my question. What is Dana White going to say about this? Because he's going to be asked about it. What is he going to say? I don't know if he's going to do a scrum tonight. And it may not hear from him until after 292 next Saturday in Boston. But he is going to be asked about this. Let's just say he steps up there tonight after this card. Gets the normal questions. Luque look good, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, and by the way, last thing for me, Elon Musk came out and tweeted yesterday that you guys aren't going to manage the fight, but you've been telling us from day one, like, you've been talking to both guys. We're going to do it in a incredible area, and it's going to make $1 billion, or we're going to give you the greatest undercard you've ever seen underneath. And Elon Musk say, nope, you guys aren't going to be a part of it. What does he say? Go.
You suck, Tesla. You suck, SpaceX. Meta all the way. I don't know. It's like, I guess he's on team. Have Dana and Musk ever conversed publicly at all? I know him and Zuck have, but I can't.
I'm sure they have, but Dana said that he's been talking to Elon from day one. Like I think after the Contender Series, he said, yeah, I spoke to him last night. And then 3 days later, Elon's like, nah, UFC has nothing to do with this. The UFC sold a bunch of shirts promoting the fight. It's so wild. Does Dana change his tune on all of this? Does he give Elon a bunch of crap for this?
I don't think so.
Listen, all I can do is offer you the fight. If you don't want to fight, you don't have to fight. Is he going to go that route?
Yeah. I can't force these guys to fight. I think he'll go to the bag, you know. He's like, hey man, he's like, he's oh man, if he accused Musk of ducking, he's scared.
Oh my god,
that'd be the best.
That'd be the best.
That'd be
the only time I'd be like, yes, well played. All
right, that's what we're gonna go with. Musk is scared.
All right. Hey, look, he doesn't want the fight. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want the fight.
He doesn't want the fight. Francis doesn't want the fight. Musk doesn't want the fight. What can I do? I just put Francis Ngannou and Musk in the same sentence.
Amazing. God, it's amazing.
All right. Question.
Anyone watch John Dodson in BKFC? Looks so comfortable. Dude, he's another one where BKFC is like perfect for him. He's just so fast, man. He's so fast. And he hits so hard. It's perfect sport for him.
Perfect. Yeah, good. Congratulations, John Dodson. You found your lane. just like Mike Perry found that lane, you did the same thing. It works. That's it.
John's killing the game. He gets to fight in Ryzen and he gets to fight in BKFC. Perfect. Perfect for both.
Living the dream. Living the dream. Good on him.
Well done.
Good on him. All right. All right.
The new flyweight champ. The first flyweight champ.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of Bryce Hall's win?
I did not see it. I just saw that he won. I didn't see any highlights or anything. Did he?
He was like 4 weight classes bigger than the guy he fought, and I'm not taking anything away from him because I covered that event in Tampa, the Paige Van Zandt, Rachel Ostovich card, where they had a bunch of influencers fighting each other. And the way it was presented was they're all going to fight each other in bare knuckle, and none of them fought each other in bare knuckle. They wore these oversized boxing gloves, and everyone was like,
sparring gloves.
What are we? Yeah, it was like, why are we doing this? And to Bryce's credit, dude stepped in, bare knuckle, got a knockdown real quick, finished in the second round. Good job. He was just so much bigger than this guy, though. Like, they didn't look like they were from the same planet.
Hey, still beating a professional fighter. So congratulations to him. And
well done.
I gotta tell you, bare knuckle scares the crap out of me. Not because of because of the hands. Because I just don't want to break my hands. Like, I'll get cuts in my face and deal with that. But the thought of just breaking my hands on just punching any forehead, like, I don't know. I feel like all my fingers are jammed right now. Anyway, so like that always just freaks me out. So hey man, if you have the guts to get in there and do it, and you do it, and you actually get the win, man, that's awesome. Yeah. I don't know who he is though. I mean, I know he's a YouTube influencer, so it was just a name to me. So yeah, no, good for him.
Is it a fail that the UFC won't let Polyana Viana cosplay? Theatrics are kind of fun.
Did you see that story, or did you see the?
I did. No, I did. But okay, this is
UFC.
This is the UFC. It's theatric. You used the last word you used is the whole problem here. It's fun, and the UFC doesn't want to have fun. Like, they don't want to have fun. They do things by the book, and look, it's worked for them. They've made a shitload of money doing it, and well done. But we're beyond fun. We don't like to do anything outside of the box. They did the BMF title, so once in a while they do fun things. But come on. Like, you have to let these fighters have a little bit of personality. Like, I understand the uniform and all that stuff, and they can fight in these uniforms, and that's great. But at least let them have a little freaking personality, for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean,
for the walkouts, like, let them have their walkouts. It's 30 seconds. You got to take the stuff off to sit on the, the prime elevation, preparation area, and then you go into the prime hydration area. Like, let them wear a costume to that area. I don't understand why it's such a problem. I don't get it.
It's not a problem. They make it an issue. I don't get it, and it's dumb. And yeah, it's dumb.
So dumb.
That's all. The effing UFC is not for fun. That is for sure. Do you have the broadcast on? So
yeah, it just started. They're just doing the opening promo that this is what's going to happen. So
no problem.
Probably have some time.
Yeah.
What do you think of the idea that Tough should switch more to the crossover celebrity fights and leave the real contenders to the Contender Series instead? The MMA On Point guys brought this up this week. Shout out to MMA On Point. Do we want this though? Like, I don't know, man.
I just don't think we need Tough as a show anymore. Contender Series is fine. I mean, we even the Contender Series, much like Tough, what Tough was when it started, it is not kind of what it is now. And I think even for the Contender Series, what it started as, it is not what it is now.
Oh my God, is it brutal? I mean, not brutal, but all 5 guys got contracts last week. Come on. I on Heck of a Morning, I think on Tuesday, I was running through like season 1 of like all the results and like who got contracts. And there are fighters who are getting like 90-second finishes in the first round that didn't get contracts. But now all you have to do is win. All you have to do is win on the Contender Series and get a contract now. In fact, there are fighters who got contracts losing a fight last year. losing. Where are the stakes, man? Like, there's got to be some sort of threshold. Like, maybe not as difficult as season 1, but it certainly shouldn't be where it is now, where I last year I got honey-deed so bad by Dana White because the Joe Pyfer episode. Listen, if you don't show up on Tuesday with your best effort, you're not getting a contract. Be Joe Pyfer. Joe, you're the only guy getting one. And then they gave away a record amount of contracts after that. They're going to give away 50 contracts this season. 50. We understand why. Like, we get it. But you're ruining my favorite thing. I loved the Contender Series when it first came on. I would take time off from like my full-time jobs when I was covering the sport every Tuesday so I could watch the Contender Series. That's how much I loved it. And now it's just, okay, it's fights. It's the first 5 fights we're getting on this card, and the winner just automatically gets in the UFC, no matter how they perform. It makes me sad.
Yeah. I just watched the highlights.
And tough should not be a thing.
Tough just
anymore.
That's just not a thing. Yeah.
You got the biggest star in the history of the sport on board, and it's not doing anything.
Man, and it sucks because last week's fight between Kurt Holloway and Jason Knight,
that was good. That was
crazy good fight. And like normally when it's just a complete, and so there was a situation where no one was coaching, and there were basically because they were in the same team, so there was no coaching and there was no cheering either. So like, man, it was just brutal. The sound it had that kind of that feeling when we got to watch Justin Gaethje versus
Cody
Ferguson. It had that kind of same like, oh my God, these guys, that hurts. You just heard every punch. You heard the bone. You heard like just saliva and spit coming out of their mouth. It was wild. It
was a good fight.
It was a really good fight. Okay. Okay. Just a counter argument.
Mike, your criticism of DWCS is valid, but for me, I really did getting to see 5 live fights on Tuesday night. Listen, I'm not going to not watch the show.
Just have a mini UFC card. Just UFC Tuesday.
Exactly.
Just have a mini UFC card, 5 fights. That's all. Just do that. I get we want to see 5 fights. Yeah.
At least the PFL's Challenger Series is like, it's too difficult. You know what I mean? Like, they'll do 5 fights, but only one person gets a contract. Like, I'm not saying that's what it should be. And I like having 5 live fights. But the purpose of the show is we're going to put the best unsigned talent around the world in our cage. And if you have the night of your life, if you have the best night of your life as a fighter, you're going to get a contract. And that's how it was positioned. Not all of these guys are going to make it. Like, even if you win, it doesn't guarantee you a spot. That's what it used to be. That's why I liked it so much. And I like a lot of the names on this season. There's names on it. George Hardwick is fighting next week. He shouldn't even be on the Contender Series. The dude should already be in the UFC. Ikram Aliskerov fought on the Contender. What? Why is that guy fighting on the Contender Series? He should have already been in the UFC. I understand why Bo Nickel got the Contender Series fights. I get it. Let's get eyeballs on the product. I don't think you're getting that same thing with George Hardwick.
But he was like 1-0 and 2-0. Like that
2-0.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. And we know it was going to happen. You set up the matchmaking for him to just dump truck the dude, bring him back, do it again. Like, I get it. I understand it. But I need to see some sort of, I don't know. It's just too obvious now that it's like, hey, we get these guys. They come in. We get to pay them 10 and 10. We're hosting Apex cards still. And we need to fill these spots. So this is why we're doing the Contender Series now. It's not about loading up the roster with the best talent possible. It's about let's get 50 dudes in that make way less money than some of the vets who are on losing streaks. Let's cut the vets. Let's bring these dudes in. Like, some of them are really good, and some of them are just like, they shouldn't be in the UFC. They'll get run out in 2 fights. I don't know. It's like breaking up. It's like breaking up with a long, like you dated a woman for 2 years. You feel like she's the one, and you kind of just stayed with her for 3 more years because like you're Irish and it's the Irish thing. You're not going to be the one that quits it. And then the Contender Series just quit you, and you're just like, I'm still going to watch from afar, but it still breaks my heart every time I do.
I feel like you're not mad at the Contender Series. You're just disappointed.
I still love you, Contender Series. I still love you. It's
And I
just
think
not the same.
Yeah, I know. Just from the comments, I know like our fellow journalist Jed Mashu, he gets a lot of hate for being so negative about the UFC sometimes, but it's because he loves the UFC. He loves mixed martial arts so much, and we know that the potential for greatness is there all the time. And when they just do this, it disappoints us. It just disappoints us,
dude. And here's the thing, because I've seen this a lot. Someone was like, "Oh, all Mike Heck does is hate on the UFC." That is just not true. I think if you go back and watch like preview shows for some of these Apex cards, I think I've done a pretty decent job like finding the positives wherever I can find it. But it's not our job to like be dishonest with you. If we think something is not up to par for fans who have to pay for these things, then we're going to criticize that. But on the flip side, if the UFC does something really good, we will praise them for that. We will do it. We will do it. If there's a pay-per-view, like I think 292 is a really good card. 291 was excellent. 290 was fantastic on paper. And if that happens, if we're going into a card with those kinds of lineups, we're going to be like, holy shit, like get me to Saturday. I can't wait. But if a card like this comes up where there's like, okay, it's fights. This is like, I understand the NFL is massive and people love watching the NFL. Like, and people are going to watch preseason football. And we're going to see our favorite players get in there and mix it up a little bit. They're not going to play the whole game, but they get in there and mix it up a little bit. The Patriots could go out like tomorrow and play the Jets and win 45-0 in a preseason game. And it'll be fun for me to watch. But in the end, come tomorrow morning, I don't care. They're going to play each other in like week 4. It's over. Like it's satisfactory for that moment and that moment alone. And then the next day, it's just like, okay, that's it. We're on to the next thing. That's what this card is. Like, we're going to watch it, and I think we're going to have fun watching this one. I don't think it's going to be a bad watch. But come Monday, like, we're not even going to be talking about this card anymore because it's just there's no stakes. There's no storylines attached to it unless something freaky happens. You know what I mean? Like, that's my issue with this card.
Yeah, it's a regular season basketball game. I don't know.
It's summer league almost.
Yeah,
this is a Contender Series card outside of the main event and the co-main event.
Yeah. Let's switch it up just a bit.
A lot of negativity to find in MMA today, so instead of some positivity, what's your number one favorite thing in all of MMA right now? Ooh. Not the Contender Series. No, I'm just kidding.
What is my number one thing right now?
I don't know. Francis, like not fumbling the bag is probably like my favorite thing right now. Just making all the money.
What is my favorite thing right now? Actually, trying to. Dang, I feel bad that this taking me so long to answer.
No, like look, I love the pay-per-views. I love all the pay. I don't know. My number one favorite thing is doing the watch parties right now. Like I look forward to all of them. Like sitting there and just hanging with GC and watching fights like the way I like to do it with just buds. It doesn't even feel like there's a camera on. Like that's my favorite. I love it. I love my job. Like people are just like, oh, you have the dream job and you just bitch about it all the time. No, there's no bitching. Like every other sport does this. But yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot to like. I don't know. For the fighters, you're my favorite. You're my favorite. Go do good.
Yeah, I still love men and women just living their dreams and watching them and following their story. That's pretty much what I still love about the sport, and just so many different. Actually, I was talking to a teammate the other day. It was after team practice, and he's 23. He's like a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a 35er, and he was just tearing me up, beat me up and everything. But we were talking, and I was like, he was asking me, like, what'd you get into this for? What'd you get, And I was just saying, man, I just love, there's 30 guys in this room, and everyone is in this room for a different reason. We all kind of came different paths. And he's one of those guys that's been doing jiu-jitsu since 4 years old. His dad was like a martial arts teacher, and that's how he came into the sport. I came into the sport just because I got a job as a camera person years ago before I knew anything about anything revolving fighting, and I just wanted to know more. So I got into the sport because of that. I mean, you got into the sport because of different reasons, and everyone in that room got into the sport for different reasons. And I always think that's kind of still my favorite part about MMA is how, just like how there's a 10,000 ways you can lose a fight in MMA. I feel like there's 10,000 stories of how we all, even from training to fighting to journalists, that we all kind of found our way here. And that's still probably my favorite part about the sport because it's just so unique and always different and always evolves and changes. And that's still my favorite part.
Yeah, and the community is great too. Like even like most of our fans, most of the people watch and listen to our stuff are incredible. I love just catching up with like fellow journalists on the road, like going to Dallas last week was great. Seeing people I haven't seen, like the iconic voice, Esther Lynn. I haven't seen her in person in years and years and years. So that was super cool. And then even just like being able to talk to the fighters. Like I mentioned on some shows that after the Jake Paul, Nate Diaz press conference, we went to a hotel in Dallas. We were hoping maybe to get like a quick scrum with Nate, and we didn't get one, but Nate just came and sat with like 4 or 5 of us for like 20 minutes. And it was like one of the things I will remember for the rest of my career was just seeing like real Nate, like no fluff, no camera, no light in his face, no pressure, just sitting there being himself for 20 minutes, having sort of a therapy session with us. And just like letting his thoughts be known about what happened at the press conference, why he was so pissed off. Why did I stand up at a certain point in the press conference? Why did I say those things that I said that pissed a lot of people off? Mm-hmm. Just hearing him just let it all out and then just be like, all right, have a good day, guys. It was like the best. It was the best. So those are the moments that I really like. So there's some positive.
And I know you're talking about those moments. And I think in those moments too, like you're like, man, like, you can't, like, it reminds you that, like I said earlier, these guys, they're just dudes trying to live a dream. That's really, that's all it is. It's like, you know what? I just want to do what I want to do, and I'm going to just put everything into it. And yeah, I mean, they're confident in everything, but still they're just like, hey, I hope it works out. You know, it's just like, and they're just trying to live that dream. That's all it is. And it's fun following it.
And then like living in a content world, it like hurt my soul almost in a way that the first thing I thought of after Nate left was like, man, that would have been the best Nate Diaz video content in the history of Nate Diaz. But then I was just like, why is that the first thing that pops into my mind? I was like, and then I really thought about it. I was like, this is way cooler. Like, I'm almost glad that we didn't get that. That it was just like us, that we could just remember this moment. Even though like none of you guys unfortunately got to see it, but just being there and just being a part of that moment was like, damn, that was freaking cool. That was pretty damn cool. We do have a fight going on. Santos and Juliana Miller are just punching each other in the face very wildly.
All right.
So we could do, as this is happening, we can just go through our main card picks real quick, and then we'll do our bonus picks. Do we have bonus predictions? What are we thinking here?
Bring the card up real quick. Sorry. Bonus predictions. Fight of the night will be. Oh, I don't know.
Juliana Miller is just getting pieced up.
Oh, she is. Oh boy.
Oh, she's trying to get. Oh boy, I don't think this. Yeah, this ain't gonna be good.
No.
Go ahead. I'll let you.
You know what? I'm gonna have fun tonight. I'm gonna say fight of the night is going to Swanson and Hakeem Dawodu.
Love that pick. You know what? I'm gonna do it too. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. Performance. I'm going Khalil Roundtree, and I want to say Terrence McKinney, but I'm going to go with AJ Dobson. I think AJ is going to get a first-round knockout, and he's fighting a dude who missed weight pretty badly. So I think he will be rewarded with a percentage of the purse and a bonus as well.
I'm going Roundtree, and I'm going to go McKinney. Heck, I'm going to go McKinney of submission.
Okay.
Big fancy submission.
All right. Josh Fremd, Jamie Pickett. First main card fight. Who gets it done? Julian Miller's about to get knocked out.
Ooh. Josh, my best friend will win the decision.
What the holy smokes. Juliana Miller. Oh, she's so badly hurt. Herzog is really letting her try. Oh my God, dude. Dude, this is just an ass whooping.
Wow. Damn, that's not good for her. Jeez.
Damn. She looked bad on the scale too. Okay. I'm going Josh Fremd as well. First round submission. I'm going AJ Dobson, first round knockout against Tafon and Chukwi. What you got?
Yeah, I'm going. You're going Dobson. I'm going. No, I'm going. How do you say his name?
Nchukwi.
Njukwi. I'm picking him by decision. By no real logic, really. Just picking him.
I hope if that fight goes to decision, it is going to be a tough one. Polyana Viana versus Yasmin Lucindo. Casey.
I'm going Viana decision.
Ooh, I'm going Lucindo submission.
Yeah, that's probably the smarter choice.
I think Viana can get a sub. I definitely think Viana can get a sub in this fight. Cleo Roundtree, first round knockout. And again, this is not an indictment on Chris Daucus. This is an indictment on everybody. This is not an indictment on anybody at all. Actually, this is me just believing in Khalil Roundtree today is more than ever.
Roundtree KOs second round by just being scary looking.
All right. Cub Swanson, Hakeem Dawadu, Casey. You're going Cubby, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going Cubby in a competitive, fun decision victory.
I'm going. I gotta be the bummer. I'm going Dawadu, but by decision in a super fun fight. I think it's gonna be a super fun fight. Main event. I'm going RDA decision. Not much more to add to that.
RDA decision, 4 rounds to 1. Wins it primarily with top control and wrestling.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar to the Bilal win, in my opinion.
But my heart is picking Luque in an exciting finish, but brain and logic says RDA on this fight.
Yeah. All right, hit the music. We already have one fight done. So this is a good start. 12 to go. So we'll be back after the fact, maybe around a little bit before 10 p.m. Eastern, to recap everything that happened here at UFC Vegas 78. And look, we could be negative and we could say a card doesn't look great on paper, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be fun to watch, all right? I didn't think we'd get a finish in that first fight. We got to finish real quick. So enjoy it, everybody. If you're staying home to watch it, enjoy it. If you're about to head out on the town, keep it locked on MMAfighting.com. We'll have you covered.
Great website.
Casey, I am Mike Heck. New York Rick will join us for the post-fight show later on as well. So get excited for that. So thank you all very much. Enjoy the show.